Hey everyone, welcome into Dom Time. You know, tonight is one of those nights where we have our political roundtable. We take a look at what are some of the things that are happening in our area that have nationwide repercussion, local, statewide repercussion. Two great pundits, two great journalists to join me tonight. Sean Walsh, who is a staff writer for the Philadelphia Daily News, and Matt Katz, who not only gets to cover the biggest, no pun intended, he's slimming down, character in the region, but somebody I use quite frequently on the air on Talk Radio 1210. He covers Governor Christie. Is it mainly? Is that what you do, Matt? Is that exclusive? That's a full-time job?
It is more than a full-time job.
I remember people talk about a desk at the AP or nationally, et cetera, and there used to be a Kennedy desk, and I got to understand that. That guy was really busy at the Boston Herald, Boston Globe. How does one get the Christie desk at the Philadelphia Inquirer?
What happened was he came into office. We just had a Trenton bureau at the Inquirer. It had 2 or 3 reporters, and they covered the legislature and the govher, and they mixed it up and shared
a guy like Governor Corzine. I mean, that was breaking news every second. Right?
It was like watching paint dry, relatively speaking.
Right.
So Christie comes in, and it became very clear in the very beginning of his term that this was going to be a different style governor.
Right.
So they decided to carve out a specific niche just for the governor, and that's when we started just blogging on him, Christie Chronicles on the website, and covering him exclusively. And for the first year or so, I pretty much followed him around everywhere, and I've curtailed that slightly. But he's a active governor, traveling the state and the country.
Let me bring Sean in. Sean, who would you say, Christie arguably, I don't think there is any argument, in our region, bringing in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, heaven forbid Delaware, the excitement without Joe Biden there. Who else would you say is a riveting political figure, whatever their politics are? This is somebody that viewers should be watching. This person's in the center of a lot. I mean, I would say the new Attorney General, even though she's only been there for a while, is a player in this. She's an attractive woman. She had national celebrity, and she seems to be wanting to go after Corbett and some other stuff. Anybody else that you see locally? Who do you see as a character or a persona? Maybe not a Christie, but...
It's hard to live up to Chris Christie in terms of persona. Kathleen Kane, as you mentioned, is definitely up there. First statewide female, first Democratic AG in Pennsylvania. And, the expectations are high for her, so if she meets them, then that could definitely go
Anybody
somewhere.
in Philadelphia? You cover a lot of Philadelphia stuff,
Mayor Nutter, obviously, he has a tough relationship with other city officials now. It's difficult to tell what that means in terms of the overall public. I think he plays pretty well in the suburbs, which are important because he looks like the union-busting Democrat sometimes.
Nutter? Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Now, and we should know, too, there's going to be quite a showdown that I'm relishing and just looking forward to. When the National Mayor's Conference, he has some national juice. You see him on some big national shows. They're coming to Philadelphia, what is it, May 22nd, May 23rd, and the labor thing is heated up. Could we see possibly again what happened to the mayor before, some big demonstration in front of these other mayors?
They're definitely organizing already.
The rat? Let's talk about that. Do you get to follow around the Ratmobile? I have Ratmobile sightings on my show.
The Ratmobile and the big inflatable rats, there are several of them pop up all over the city.
Are they effective, in your view?
It's tough to say. Again, there's not a lot of polling, on what the Philadelphia
now that's a column for tomorrow,
right.
Guys. Let's poll the rat. I do have a lot of fun with it, and it is annoying, and they think it's sort of effective. Kind of work with the U.S. Open, I think. They threaten them with the rat with this premier event coming. I'm asking that
a national
because
event, don't want that kind of press.
My experience is, and you get to cover this more day to day, the guys that I have on, that Philadelphia is still the last big union town. The union town in America, I would argue, that some of these other places have some juice, but these guys here really have a lot to say about Philadelphia.
There's a few cities with very high municipal union membership, like Philadelphia has. Certainly politically, it's got to be one of the biggest union towns in the country. You look to the labor bosses, to John Doherty, and to the municipal union leaders as somebody who's going to matter in the primary, so it's up there.
Do you ever use that term, by the way, labor boss? Use that in a future column. I want to see what Johnny Doc says to us.
Oh, I think he'd be fine with that. Yeah.
Let's go back to you, Matt. That you have the plum assignment, I bet people think, at the Inquirer, because the thing people don't recognize, I think, is journalists like you guys, and I know for me, we want to have somebody colorful, somebody you can sink their teeth into.
Sure.
You wrote a piece yesterday about Christie and celebrity, that he's broken through. It's no longer just the policy and all. Why is he such a big celebrity?
He's, first of all, genuinely hilarious, and I feel like I
Okay.
could say that with full journalistic impartiality. I mean, even press conferences about things like pensions and benefits. He says something, whether he's taking me or another reporter down or he's criticizing an opponent, that is just funny. And he's quick in front of a microphone, and he's looks like something of a political caricature, and I think all of that lends itself
The fleece
to
in the middle of the thing, right?
fleece, and he pokes fun at himself with that, and he was
Right.
good on Saturday Night Live, and he's been on all the late night shows, all the morning shows. He's hosting an hour of the Today Show later in the month.
Yeah, we won't see Tom Corbett, with all due respect. I do
right.
the monthly governor's race. I don't see the Today Show saying, Governor
Not gonna
Corbett,
happen.
come on, you do an hour after Christie.
Talking about Philly, Christie actually, as of 6 months ago, had a higher name ID in Philly than Corbett did. And that is
Right.
just unbelievable.
And with presidential aspirations, et cetera, you see Christie playing very well in Pennsylvania.
I do. I actually think that the Philly suburbs are somewhat aligned politically with New
Right.
Jersey, and a little bit more on the socially liberal among Republicans there, and maybe a fiscally conservative. And personality-wise, he seems to work, and they know him well. I mean,
We got the
there's-
cheesesteak.
Right.
The cheesesteak moment coming to Geno's or Pat's or whatever. Coming up, I'll ask you guys, particularly Sean too, about the Philadelphia suburbs and Republicans who seem to be kind of a dying breed, at least when I talk to radio listeners. That's the way that we see it. As we continue taking a look with two political pundits, two insiders here on Dom Time.